Your Honor, as counsel for the applicant, together with the applicant, we have visually witnessed the process of sorting out the ballot boxes for Kalungu West constituency. Your Honor, we have observed that out of 102 ballot boxes for that constituency, 5 of them, Your Honor, had broken seals. One box appears to have just been cut, or the seal of one of the boxes. One ballot box was not sealed at all. And Your Honor, there was another box which was not labeled. We are only meant to understand that probably it belongs to Kalungu West constituency. We have not yet ascertained and confirmed the same through the contents of that ballot box. Your Honor, pursuant to what has just been recorded by court while sorting out the ballot boxes, we have applications to make regarding the ongoing process of recount. First and foremost, Your Honor, this Honorable Court granted an order for recount based first of all on the fact that there was supposed to be a mandatory recount which the returning officer, for one reason or another, declined to undertake. Your Honor, the process of mandatory recount directly emanates from Section 73 of the Parliamentary Elections Act, which guides the returning officer mandatorily to conduct a recount as long as either the 2 or more top candidates have equalized in the number of votes polled, or if the difference between the winning candidate and the losing candidate is less than 50 votes. Your Honor, that's the situation that is obtaining in the matter before you. Your Honor, court having found the store in which the electoral materials were kept sealed as had been averred by the applicant in his affidavit in support of the application, particularly Your Honor, paragraph 19. This Honorable Court did observe and take a record of the seal that was on the store. And Your Honor, the applicant confirmed before the seal was broken that that's the seal he found on the store as at the time when the returning officer was promising to conduct a recount and did not do so, and that was on Saturday, 17th of January 2026. Your Honor, you've also gotten information from the returning officer that since that time, nobody has access to the store. We want to believe so. However, Your Honor, what has not been explained, what could have caused the damage on some of the seals, on some of the ballot boxes I've just indicated. Your Honor, the powers of this court under Section 74 of the Parliamentary Elections Act are to conduct a recount in the deserving manner if court has satisfied it with itself that the polling materials still have integrity. Your Honor, the High Court has previously guided in the case of Rebecca Balwana against Electoral Commission, Luwero District Land Board, and Nabukenya Blender, election petition number 47 of 2011. And Your Honor, the relevant part, we had earlier not referred to that case, but the relevant part, in that respect, is at page 11 of the decision of court. And this was the decision of Honorable Justice Vincent Zehulikize. Your Honor, I want to read in verbatim what his lordship stated. Your Honor, I'm going to read in verbatim, but I'll put emphasis on the part that I want court to take charge of. This is what his lordship stated. In my view, declaration of results at the tally center by the returning officer was a condition precedent to the request for recount, where number of votes separating the candidate receiving the highest number of votes and any other candidate, in brackets, the petitioner in this case, is less than 50 votes. And since the results had not been transmitted to the commission to ascertain, declare in writing, under its seal, and publish the results of the election, the second response decision to conduct a recount decision to conduct the recount was lawful. Probably, the only intriguing question is whether the returning officer was justified or correctly halted the recount. And Your Honor, I'm putting emphasis on this. He stopped the recount on ground that some ballot boxes lacked some of the seals, but that these boxes were not tampered with. That the transparent boxes have very many seals, and that some presiding officers were not aware of how to seal these transparent boxes. If indeed he was satisfied that ballot boxes were not actually tampered with them there was no justification for halting the recount. Apart from being mandatory, the recount in this election was necessary, given the fact that there was a complaint regarding some votes which were invalidated. There was also the issue of 8 extra ballot boxes, whose contents would have been of interest to the commission and the candidates. The custody of the boxes was in the hands of the first and second respondents. And this were, Your Honor, this were the Electoral Commission and the Luwero District Returning Officer. My Lord, with the guidance drawn from the case of Balwanga, this Honorable Court has not yet come to any finding that the contents in those ballot boxes were tampered with, apart from finding 5 of the boxes with broken seals, 1 unlabeled and 1 not sealed. Your Honor, at the time when we presented this application, we did submit to you that as until the time the applicant filed, that as at the time the applicant filed the application for recount, he had never been availed with the tally sheet. Your Honor, there is clear guidance in the case of Katongole Singh, Kasibante Moses and Katongole Singh, we relied on it earlier on, that when the court is conducting a count, is further guided with the tally sheet. The first prayer, therefore, Your Honor, the returning officer was asked at the commencement of this exercise the number of polling stations in the constituency, and she said 102. Your Honor, I only want to take the assumption that she draws that from either the voters register or the tally sheet. But the summary of her results were from the tally sheet. Your Honor, I have not seen that tally sheet being presented, and the must first prayer, Your Honor, is that a copy is availed to court and to us as counsel. Secondly, Your Honor, court having verified that their majority, over 90% of the ballot boxes are intact, and drawing the guidance from this case which we just cited, and Your Honor, which appears to be binding to this court, it is our humble prayer, Your Honor, that the court conducts the exercise of verifying the ballot votes, the ballot papers, in those ballot boxes, first with the 95, which seem to have their seals intact, and record the votes polled by each of the candidates. Your Honor, this has a very significant bearing in the sense that in the application, the applicant did indicate to court that what was declared is not supported by what is in the boxes. Court would have an opportunity of confirming whether or not, given also the DLR forms inside the ballot boxes, whether the votes as declared and tallied by the returning officer from those polling stations correspond with the actual ballot boxes, with the actual ballot papers in the respective boxes. That's one, Your Honor. Secondly, Your Honor, for the ballot box that has no area where it falls, which is not labeled, it is equally our prayer that it is opened by court to ascertain whether it belongs to Kalungu West or Kalungu East. Your Honor, if it is for Kalungu West, it is our further prayer that the contents therein are subject to the same recounting process. The results are also noted and the box subsequently marked. Your Honor, should the court find that that box is for Kalungu West, it is also our prayer, taking judicial notice, that there is a pending matter for Kalungu West, that the box is marked and it is sealed with a seal available to the parties. Your Honor, regarding the ballot boxes for the other 5 polling stations, whose seals were broken, it is our prayer that court takes record by counting the ballot paper therein, corresponding them with the results declared on the tally sheet for proper guidance to court in making the final decision. And Your Honor, for the one ballot box that is not sealed at all, it is our prayer again because the returning officer has the DRR form, we assume it is inside the box, that the contents therein are also taken stock of, and the results therein are ascertained, and the court makes a finding whether there is a deeper discrepancy or are the same as what was contained in the tally sheet for that polling station. And Your Honor, at the end of the exercise, court will be in a position to make a proper decision whether, based on its findings, a certificate of recount is issued or a report of the recount with the observations are made. And subsequent to which, all the boxes will be sealed and will take serial numbers.